That's good. Where's the recording to? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. The magic is working. Oh, I have to let them in. Don't forget who you are.
Okay.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Jamie. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Whiteboard flowers, looking made up. Good. We are amazing.
I'm just figuring out how to get everybody the link here. Sorry, I'm distracted.
Keep working on it. I'll pretend I'm the host.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I usually cut and paste those into my calendar. So on the day of the event, I just go and it's there and I'm like, it's not there. I better look for the email. And I'm looking for the email and I'm like, I don't think I have it.
No, somehow there was a little disconnect there and no email got sent. And we only figured that out when Peter and me couldn't get into Peter and I couldn't get into the meeting. It's like, what's going on?
Well, good to know it's not me.
That's not you.
Not today.
It's just technology.
Mm-hmm. No, this is definitely a user error.
Well, we all have so much going on.
Boy, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
We are ambitious people.
Yep. It's all
Oh,
doers on this call too.
That's a question.
Yeah.
Will this be recorded? Because I have a 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna have to jump off at that time.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's already being recorded.
Oh, are we getting recorded right now?
Yeah.
No worries. You look great.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm back on mute.
Okay. Ugh. All right. Okay, doers. I have a great, not presentation really, but a great set of ideas and valuable things and exciting things to share with y'all today. I mean, I'm so super excited. And I know this is the elite group. This is the doers here, the hardcore. And we'll have it recorded. And, because we kind of messed up on the link, feel free to send me questions afterwards or something, and we'll follow up. In fact, hopefully there'll be some time for Q&A today. But while everybody else is gathering, I'm just going to go ahead and start so that I use the time that we have. And I'm going to share my screen just as it is because I have a lot of windows to coordinate. So it's not going to be polished, but it'll be fantastic. Okay, get rid of that window there. Get rid of all of that. And I assume everybody can see my screen at this point. All right, great. So glad we can record these things. Welcome to you guys and to all the people that watch this later in recorded form. We're going to have two recordings. We have one that's pure video out of Zoom, which we'll post to a Dropbox or actually to YouTube with an unlisted link. So you can watch it that way or listen to it when you're driving, whatever. And we also have Otter, which is our transcription program that you can interact with and ask direct questions of, and it will answer your questions for you about the audio of the call. So with all that in mind, I'm going to jump right in. And I'm going to test a survey function in Zoom here. Not many of us, but it's worth practicing. I guess it's under more, maybe not.
I haven't seen that function in a while, Peter. I don't know if it's there.
It was yesterday.
Okay, well, but this is my Zoom, not yours, so it may be on my Zoom it's not available.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not. Well,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of us. So, um, Anne, what level of these three would you consider yourself at?
You're muted, Ann.
In
Yeah.
terms of what specifically, Peter?
Oh, we're talking about AI and chatbots and using them in your practice.
I would say I'm a beginner. I've just started after your last training. It was inspired me.
Yeah.
And I did some dabbling in it, but I'm still a beginner.
Okay. Well, good for you because dabbling is the key. This is not head knowledge. This is a skill and it's a practice that we do. Some people call it AI first. Uh, the hardest thing about it is remembering that it's there to answer the questions that we're pondering.
Mhm.
So the more I think about, oh my God, I can use AI for that. That's awesome. So it's something I'm still learning after a year and a half. Jamie,
I'm a beginner.
okay,
I'm also a pessimist.
okay,
I don't like Big Brother.
okay.
And yeah.
So the
I mean,
robot,
I'm still the person that goes to the airport and says, "You're not taking a picture of me and you're not doing facial recognition. I am sorry. No, not going there." Uh-uh.
right? Well, we have to have one pessimist in the group because it balances things out. And I guess the picture of the robot probably is not your favorite picture of
I
all.
He's cute.
He's cute, but he follows you around and he listens to everything. It's just,
Yeah. Well, see, like I don't have Ring, I don't have Surrey, I don't have whatever that thing is that Amazon sells in your house that you can ask the weather or I don't have any of that stuff. I don't want my car making decisions for me when I'm driving. It's just me.
I'm amazed that you're
I don't
here.
like all that stuff.
Thank you. Well,
I
you
love that you're here, Jamie, and I'm love you that you express that because I think that there's a lot of collaborative professionals that are a little wary of all of this AI stuff. So
and hiding our heads in the sand is not going to give us the tools that we need to know what we need to really look out for. You know, you may choose to keep this as far as you can away from yourself and your practice, but you'll do it with some knowledge about what you're missing out on or how you could engage with it that would not be hazardous or risky. So one thing that comes to mind as you guys say you're beginners, when you ask chatbots questions and they
I
come
hate chatbots. I
I
like to
okay,
talk to a human being. I can get answers.
you
I can get an answer in 30 seconds if I talk to a human being and the chatbot, you got to type it. Oh, did you ask this? No, I'm asking about this. Oh, you're asking. No, I'm not asking about that. I hate chatbots. I don't find them helpful at all.
You're
well
talking about the customer service chatbots though, and this is a little bit different.
Okay. Then let's
also
call it something else so I don't have such a negative feeling about it.
well come up with a name and we'll try to use that to confuse the other people who watch the
Okay, Charlie bot. We're going to talk about Charlie bots.
okay, that's good. Charlie bot.
It's close to chatbot. Charlie bots. Maybe that'll help me open my mind to how Charlie bots might help me.
Well, Charlie is quite accommodating. And for beginners, this is a really important point. If you're talking to it and you don't understand what it's giving you, you can say, rewrite that in simpler language. Or you can say, I have a few questions about that. And then you can interact with it and you can narrow it down. And there are voice interfaces, which I haven't tried yet, but I can't wait. People are getting mentored while they're on the road driving to work, having a conversation with their chatbot that is designed to give them information about the topic that they have initiated. But anyway, the deal is this is the easiest to use technology that there's ever been, and it's also by a factor of 10 more powerful. So beginners, don't worry about it because you can ask it, gee, I want to know how to do that. Boom. And it does help. I wanted to talk about the field of chatbots because there's so many now and they're all a little bit different and they have different strengths and weaknesses. So let me introduce you to my go-to chatbots. Of course, ChatGPT is the most well-known and probably the most all-around powerful chatbot. It incorporates almost every feature that you could want. On the downside, I'd say the answers are a little boring, a little sterile, and sometimes it doesn't dive deep into a topic like you'd like. So you can always say, tell me more about blah, 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 or give me citations about what you just told me because I want to check and see if you hallucinated. But ChatGPT can handle obviously text. It can produce graphic images. It can interpret graphic images. You can edit graphics with it. You can use voice communication with it. It can talk to you. You can talk to it. And it has a team function that I've not delved into, but it's powerful to have these tools, but be able to share them with a team is really powerful. So I'm thinking there might be applications in the collaborative teams that are created. So that's in general what ChatGPT is, but you guys have tried that, right? You've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Okay, good. Perplexity is my second favorite. And Perplexity is particularly good. Hello, coming on, new one. Hello. No video from our newest participant. But Perplexity is really good at doing detailed kinds of things. Hi, V or Vi or V?
Vi, yeah, Vi.
Welcome, welcome. This
Thank
is
you.
all being recorded, Vi, so you can catch up on what you missed, which isn't much. We're really just getting started. Would you say you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced with chatbots and AI?
Probably intermediate. I've used it a few times.
Awesome. Good. Well, we're trying to make sure the beginners are included in the conversation today and that everything is super clear at the basic level. So I use Perplexity as an alternative to ChatGPT when I'm doing something that really requires organized stepwise thinking. And I like that it produces citations for each of the things that it says. So you can click on the citation and go see the original information on the internet. It's really good for technical questions about computer programs. It's good for research, academic kind of research, or instructions on how to get something done. And it also pops up with other alternative related questions. So it's like super helpful for research and for valid answers. I wouldn't say take everything at face value. I would never say that with chatbots. But Perplexity is at least going to give you those citations, which are useful. And Claude is my third favorite chatbot. And its strength really is in writing. It can write really
Known caller.
I'm gonna mute VI. And so if I want to write something that has personality or style or is interesting to read, I'll go to Claude. And I'll give you a couple of examples about Claude. I work with collaborative practice in the area of estate planning and dispute resolution in estates. So I asked Claude if it would write an article in the style of the Atlantic magazine about collaborative practice, trusts, and estates. I asked it to go and find out what it was all about and come back with a nice article for the Atlantic. And man, it just did a beautiful job. And it started out with the story about the family going off into a retreat center somewhere in nature. And then it said, but this isn't any ordinary retreat. This is a special one that's devoted to bringing families even closer together than they would be otherwise and preventing problems with estates and so on. And anyway, just wrote a beautiful article. So Claude, again, stylistic writing, you name it, you ask for it, you get it. I have another example that was kind of a reach, but it worked great. I asked it to write a story, a short story about a about a chatbot and an inheritance. So basically, my plot was something like young woman inherits trust from father. She's heartbroken. And her father, in his wisdom, has said, here are my values, but the world is changing. So how do I give my daughter both? And he creates a chatbot that is supposed to be the guide or the mentor for her as she grows up. And she doesn't like that too much. She says, no, man, I still feel like I'm just being controlled and manipulated. And so anyway, wrote this whole story and I just said, here's the plot. Here's the style of writing I want. I want deep characters. I want realistic conversations, compelling story, written in the style of Orson Scott Card, my favorite writer, who goes into depth in characters. And I want it to contain a couple of story elements that I had thought of and threw in for fun. So it's like a recipe. I've got these things in the refrigerator. This is what I want. Go for it. I wrote a beautiful short story, very compelling, great dialogue that I could never have done. So I have a little science fiction story that ties into my work. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. But if you wanted to write a book or you just have trouble thinking of some kind of realistic scenario that to use as an example for clients, maybe, Claude is just amazing at writing. And I think I don't pay for it. I'm not sure. Most of these are about $20 a month, but I've lost track of which ones I pay for and which ones I'm using for free. But any questions about those chatbots? Those are my big three. I would say go to Claude, try it out. You can say, oh, that's a little too technical, tone it down for the public, or that's not technical enough. I'm going to use a story with professionals, make it interesting to not to estate attorneys, family law attorneys, whatnot. Okay. Those are the big three. There's a new tool from Google that is absolutely fascinating and might be useful to you. And I want to share that with you. It's called Notebook LM. Have you guys heard of that? All right. Magic is about to unfold. I get just the link, please. Link. Well, I think I have it anyway. So I'm going to switch over to my browser. And I'm going to go to Notebook LM. Okay, so you just go to notebooklm.google.com. This is free. And this is a tool that takes input, and it can be videos, it can be articles, it can be stuff that you've typed in for instructions. It takes it all, mix it all together, and turns it into a learning opportunity. So I'll show you what I mean by that. There's nothing up my sleeves. I haven't done anything with this to prepare it. I'm just going to work from ground zero here. I'm going to create a new notebook. Now it says upload my sources. So I've gone to the CPCal website and I've downloaded an article called What is Collaborative Practice? And I haven't touched that article. I'm just going to load it right in here as a Word document. Uh-oh, it doesn't want Word. Hang on while we do a little technical thing. I'm going to save this as a PDF. This is how you know that it's a real demo.
So if you put this in, is it going to be scraped then forever? Like if I put my novel in here that I wrote, is that now going to become part of the public domain because it's inside AI?
Great question. If you're using the free versions of chatbots, it's learning from those things. I doubt that it would just spit it out word for word. But if you pay for a plus subscription or a team subscription, it does not use your content for its learning or its reference bank.
Okay.
But do check that out. I mean, I'm 98% sure of that, but go and research it in a couple of from a couple of different sources. I'm sure you could search that in Google, for example. You don't have to do anything fancy to find that kind of information because it's really a common question.
Mhm.
So let me get back to my little document here. I have to have something for this to chew on and give us a response to. So this is what is collaborative practice.pdf. I've got all my little demo files down here. So good, so good. Okay, so I just dumped that in. Now it's going to create a frequently asked questions about it. It's going to create a study guide. It's going to create a table of contents, timeline. I'm not sure how that works with a simple document, and a briefing document. It has a summary already written and it has questions that you might want to ask about it. So I want a feature that is basically a podcast that it can create out of a document. And by the way, this can take, I think it's 100 documents with 500,000 words each. So this has an enormous input capability. Give it a lot to work on, but I just gave it one document. But I'm going to ask it to generate a podcast conversation out of this 2-page document. And it takes a few seconds. Have I already bored some people? Oh no.
I think this is fascinating.
I hope so. This is so incredibly powerful. This is a free tool. It's just one of Google's experiments. And
Yeah,
it's
and what are they getting on the back end to give it to you for free?
Oh,
I'm
I-
sorry,
I-
Google is evil. I don't like Google.
I'm just showing you the kinds of things that
I
are
know,
out there.
you're my guinea pig. You're trying all this out for me, so I don't have to.
And it's amazing. I'm actually still alive and I have my freedom. It's incredible.
Oh, that's today.
Peter, I have a question.
Don't
Yeah.
let Elon Musk get in charge of Google because
Oh, or
he'll
Facebook.
censor
But
all of us.
Anne, what's your question?
Yeah, you mentioned, I think, that Notebook LM can create a learning opportunity. Um, can you say more about that? I'm not sure I understood what you meant by that.
Well, we're right in the midst of doing that, so I'm going to be able to show you the output. And as I said, you can use almost any kind of input you want and large amounts of input. You could use, several books if you wanted. Uh, for example, you could take all your favorite collaborative practice authors and reference their books, or you could take their YouTube videos and submit it. And this thing will turn it into several different formats. I'm going to play you the podcast it just created, and then we'll go back together and look at the study guide and the frequently asked questions. I mean, the frequently asked questions would be so awesome for your clients, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to share my audio, make sure I'm doing that. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can double check. Back into sharing. Yep, have a special button now that we didn't used to have. Okay. So this is a listening opportunity here. I just put in the article as it was from the collaborative CPCal website the article is called What is Collaborative Practice? I put it in here and it's now done this with it, and hopefully it'll be good.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You know how much we love a good deep dive here, and today we're taking you on a journey into the world of collaborative practice. Got all our intel right here, ready to go. We're going to break down what it is, why it matters, and how it might just change the way you think about resolving disagreements. And lucky for us, we've got a real pro joining us to help connect the dots. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to dive in.
So, collaborative practice, not exactly a term you hear every day. What we've gathered is it's about finding ways to resolve disputes outside the whole courtroom drama, right? And working together, get this, with professionals to figure out solutions everyone can actually agree on. Sounds kind of revolutionary, don't you think?
It really is a different approach. And it can be especially beneficial in situations, say, where kids are involved, sensitive situations where you want to minimize conflict and focus on the well-being of everyone, not just winning or losing.
I was just going to say, our research here mainly focuses on collaborative divorce, but it's not just for couples calling it quits, is it?
Not at all. The beauty of collaborative practice is its versatility. We see it applied to all sorts of disagreements, business partnerships, inheritance disputes, even neighborly conflicts.
So instead of throwing punches in court, you're throwing ideas on the table, trying to find that win-win. I like it. But how does it actually work? Walk us through. What are the steps involved in this whole collaborative practice dance?
So picture this. You and the other party, you both have your own lawyers, right? But instead of duking it out in briefs and court appearances, you're all in a room together, along with other professionals who can lend their expertise.
Wait, other professionals? Like who? Tell me more.
Well, depending on the situation, you might have a financial expert to help with dividing assets, a child specialist to create a parenting plan that's in the best interests of the child. You might even have a communication coach to help everyone, communicate more effectively.
It's like assembling a dream team to tackle every angle of the disagreement. But all this open communication, it made me think, what happens if things go south? Can anything said in these meetings be used against someone later on, if they do end up in court?
That's a great question. And the answer is a resounding no. Confidentiality is a cornerstone of collaborative practice. It allows.
I think you get the idea.
Whose voice is that, Peter? The man and the woman?
Artificial voices.
Okay.
Wow.
It
I just gotta
created
say, wow. Oh my
it create-
God.
it
Who's going to need
created
a
the
job someday? Like maybe none of us.
Oh
My God.
no. Well, that'll be, 20 years from now. But in the meantime, it's the people who use the tools who will not lose their jobs. We're going to, eat other people's lunch, unfortunately. All I put in was this article, which is straight off, it's like one page.
Amazing.
And it put that together while we were sitting here. I had There was no other input. There was nothing I had to do except for
How did it decide which voice was what you were talking about and what the gal was talking about?
it just
It just
decided
do it,
on its
huh?
own. Now, I don't know how it reasons, it's actually pretty simple. It's a mechanical way it puts it together. But oh my God, it's so thorough and it makes it interesting and it provides the intonations for the voices, the ums and the ahs, makes it sound human.
Mhm.
So here's something that you could put up. You could just download this audio and have your webmaster put it on your website. Here's what Collaborative Practice is. You're done. It was free. It took 5 minutes, and it's better than I could have written. I mean, that's so compelling. All right. So if you wanted to use other aspects of this tool, you could look at the frequently asked questions, which I guess has to generate on the fly, but you've got a number of ways to use the output. Here's the frequently asked questions it created. It's a start, it's not the be all and end all, but when you don't have to figure out where do I even start? What do I need to look for?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, this is why I'm taking on like twice as much work as I used to do because I can fly through it. It takes minutes. I didn't do this presentation that way. This is handmade, by the way. Home cooking. Yeah. And there's the guide again. And anyway, so you have a whole bunch of different output in different formats. That's great for studying, training employees, introducing clients to things. And that's just Notebook LM, which is sort of experimental. And some of us would recognize those two voices that are talking to each other because we've heard them on other people use those two as an example because everybody gets excited about it. But that's okay because it does a good job. It's like, okay, I know they use the chatbot to do that, but I'm getting the information I need. So that is that one. That's Notebook LM. You can just type that into Google and it'll take you right there. I'm going to do one other thing, maybe out of order, I don't know, but I'm going to use it to evaluate one of these tools I'm going to use to evaluate a website. That's for later. So I'll go to CPCal and I'm going to just get the address of the website. And then I'm going to go to just ChatGPT. And it says, what can I help you with? And I'll say, please evaluate the following website. Just giving you an idea of what you can do here. You can go back and watch this if you want to remember how to do it. But I want you to have a sense of what's out there. Like I called a friend once when I was studying for an income tax exam. And he's a CPA and he's an MBA from Stanford. And every question I asked him, every one, he said, I don't know. I have to look that up. I said, why don't I just do this myself? And the reason I bring that up is you're going to be looking stuff up anyway. So now you've got a head start on looking lots of different things up and evaluating and condensing and putting in the format you want, whatever it is. So I'm going to evaluate the website for clarity, usability, marketing effectiveness. Oh, I know what, SEO. You guys love that.
Yeah.
And whatever else you think I should be aware of. I don't want to strain my brain after all. So here's the website. And I think it'll know what to do from there. Does a great job of evaluating websites. And this doesn't reveal anything that isn't already public information.
And this is ChatGPT?
This is just ChatGPT.
Okay.
Okay, it says the site could improve SEO by optimizing meta descriptions, alt text for images, and internal linking. The donation call to action is well placed, but could be more prominent to boost contributions. Marketing effectiveness is moderate. More visually compelling content or testimonials could enhance engagement. So I could go in there and say, where exactly could testimonials help? And how? So it remembers the conversation, it knows the context that we're talking about, especially on the home page, the About Us section, and Find a Professional page. Builds trust, reinforces the value, provides social proof, short, impactful quotes. Like, you don't have to be a website expert to get some ideas about how to make your website better, for example. So again, it can take large amounts of information, bring them together in creative ways. I could even say, give me this output in a table form with actions along the left side or points that you've made on the left side and actions we can take on the horizontal axis or something like that. And it can produce charts and graphics and such. So I'm just giving you a taste. Again, you don't have to be an expert in any of this. If you can remember to ask the question, it will guide you through, and then you can refine the questions from there. Oh, I'm going to show you a quick little video. This is a guy who's sharing the website he pays for every month, which is about 6. One of them is really cool because if you've tried to produce images with text, ChatGPT has the strangest spellings you can imagine, so they're useless. But there's one website he mentions that's very good at doing images with text that's correct. So as you're building up your, your own useful set of tools, this is a nice set to look at and consider. Hyperlink, open it up.
Here are the AI tools that I pay for every month, how much they cost, and what they do. So, firstly, of course, it's ChatGPT, the absolute leader in this space. It's because it does so much. It gets to know you over time. On mobile, it's got the advanced voice mode, so you can talk to it, brainstorm, role play, do all kinds of useful things with it. And they're just constantly adding new features. So $20 a month, well worth it. Then there's Claude. The reason I pay $24 a month for Claude is that it is generally better than ChatGPT for creative writing. It's also really good for code as well, because it can give you a preview of how your code would look. I wish they'd bring that into ChatGPT. Now, I'm not a full-on developer, in which case I'd use like a proper AI developer tool like Cursor, but for the kind of stuff I'm doing, Claude is great, and yeah, fantastic at creative writing. Next one is Gamma. This creates PowerPoints. There's lots of other products that do this, but they do it quite badly, I think. Gamma does it really well because they've just nailed the layouts of slides. They create images with AI to give you stock images. The way that they distill your language, there's nice choices there for how it condenses your kind of notes that you want turning into the slides. So it's just really useful anyway for someone who creates a lot of PowerPoint. Well worth $20 a month. Then there's Midjourney. Here we're into image generation. Now, I know I already get that included in the price of ChatGPT, right? But Midjourney remains the best AI image generator, in my opinion, in that it's the most artistic, the most beautiful, the most detailed imagery. I think it's lovely. So $10 a month is well worth it. But recently I've started subscribing to Ideogram, which is a competitor to Midjourney. It's $8 a month for the basic tier, which is enough for how I use it. But what Ideogram have done is they focused on just one problem that all the other image generators have, which is text. They're all terrible at text. They make like all like funky, weird, like nightmarish or misspelled text, whereas Ideogram, it always gets the text right. And actually I create quite a lot of images where I want some text in it, and it can design that really beautifully. So for $8 a month, I mean, it's I think that's a steal. And then lastly, Letterly, which is a voice notes app, and it costs just $6.50 a month. Now, again, there are a lot of things that record voice notes, transcribe them, and do something with that text. It's just that Letterly have just nailed the user experience in the least amount of clicks possible. I can just tap it on my home screen, start talking, and I can get a few different versions of that transcript instantly. It can just, by magic, make sense of it, whether it's a shopping list, some brainstorming, a meeting. I just find, again, it's almost like it knows what you want, and I absolutely love that, and it's been a big productivity boost for me. So yeah, $90 a month is a lot of money, right? But the productivity boost for me is huge. Let me know what tools you're using in the comments.
Okay. I just put the link to that video into the chat. But this is just to give you an idea of the different chatbots out there, their strengths and weaknesses, and how we use them in our toolkit when you get past just having ChatGPT, for example, or a single chatbot, if you have special needs. So you can go back and reference that through the recording of this call. I put it into the chat so that you can go and look at it yourself. You do have to get into TikTok. You can do it through your browser, but yeah. So that's kind of a quick rundown of chatbots, and since this is the advanced session, I wanted to show you some of the other alternatives out there. So I'm open to any questions that you have about the different chatbots.
Gosh, this has been very informative.
Cool. Just knowing that you can do this stuff is
So
amazing.
cool. Now I have to try it out.
I
That's
have
where
a
the,
question.
yeah.
Peter, you mentioned at our last training that you had developed your own, I may be saying this wrong, but sort of a chat box for collaborative
That's right.
practice.
That's right.
Can you say more about that, or was that coming up later?
That is definitely coming up, but let
Okay.
me, I can go out of order here. This is fine. I did create a chatbot focused on collaborative practice, and I have a little exercise that we can go through to create a chatbot in this session. You won't believe how easy it is. In fact, it'll take some of your awe of how amazing I am out of the picture, because just, I thought he worked really hard to create that, but no, well, it's pretty easy. But first, let me go and show you where the chatbot is. Going to open up a new tab here for ChatGPT. Actually, don't need to do that. Here's what I can do. Go straight to it. It is, I've created a shortcut to get to it. So you can type in tinyurl dot, whoops, I misspelled url.com/collaborative navigator. That'll take you to the special chatbot that I created that really covers all things collaborative. And in a few minutes, we'll get to how you can create something like this for whatever your subject is that you want to be able to reference answers to or get answers to quickly. So that's how you get here is tinyurl.com/collaborative navigator. And then you can ask questions of it.
And is this something you would feel comfortable sharing with a potential client? who's
I would,
interested?
with the caveat that it's experimental, it's a chatbot. I have not seen it make any mistakes, but that doesn't mean that it won't or can't make mistakes. So I just say, here's a tool that really can help you dig down, answer the questions that you have when you have them. I'm happy to answer questions too, but you can use this as a supplement if it's the weekend or late at night, or usually it'll give you good answers. So I created it for planner. I want to say planners. That's my industry. For collaborative practitioners to use with clients and for themselves, frankly. Like I need to find collaborative not estate attorney, divorce attorney in Massachusetts. So I need to find a collaborative practice family law attorney. Notice I'm being as specific as I can to help guide it right to the answer that I want. In Massachusetts. Oh my God, how do you spell that? Did I get it right? No. Maybe that. Doesn't like that. Of course, it'll know what I really mean, I'm sure. Just, oh, never mind. I will go with my spelling. There we go. Nope, didn't like it. This is a good example, though. You don't have to remember words exactly like you had to do with Google. It doesn't have to be an exact match. It will figure out what you're trying to say usually. Can you help? And it's telling me how to go look one up myself. I think I could ask it to, can you give me specific names? Now it'll have to go out and search on the internet. It's trying to conserve resources, so sometimes it'll be a little lazy and you have to say, yeah, can you go that extra mile? So here's a few. With links. That's nice. Thank you, ChatGPT. So, I mean, is that handy or what? And it can answer all kinds of questions.
Amazing.
That's why I have to share this with you, because our work is so damned important. And I want you guys to all be, like thriving and having a lot of fun and being creative and having power. Honestly, it's just the best thing ever in terms of a career or business enhancer. All right, you guys know where to go to get the Collaborative Navigator, and you can copy that link and put it wherever you want. You can embed it in your website. You could just send it to clients and say, this thing, we found it is pretty good, state of the art. Don't rely on it like gospel, but it's going to point you in some useful directions. I mean, people are going to be looking for this kind of stuff on our websites pretty soon if they're not already doing that. So has anybody tried to write a blog entry from the first session, and how did it go for you? Can I help in any way?
Yeah, I did. I actually have found it very useful for a lot of things. But the blog was, I shortened it a bit and changed it a little bit, but I thought it was great. And I like to use it to give me, in fact, I've written blogs and then I've asked ChatGPT, and then it has exactly my points in it. And I'm like, okay, good job. Or there'll be one thing that I miss. I should have added that, right? Which is great. I have to tell you, the most fun thing that I did was I'm opening this small office in Sonora, California, a tiny rural community, and I was sending a letter to doctors, pediatricians, which is how I get a lot of my referrals for child clients. And I said, well, what does a doctor, a pediatrician you are a pediatrician in a rural community. I am an experienced child therapist. What do you need to know about me in order to trust me to send your patients to me? And the answer was brilliant. It was brilliant. Are you doing things for the community? I mean, I just like all kinds of really cool stuff that I wouldn't have thought of myself, actually. And actually, it's going to be a series of letters to the doctors with all of this information in it, so that they know that they can trust me. Anyway, I thought to me that was priceless, actually, priceless. And by the way, I just typed in ChatGPT. Can you give me a list of collaborative communications coaches in California? And one member of Silicon Valley showed up on the list. It was Cindy Furs. And I don't know why. Why did Cindy Furs show up and not any of the other collaborative professionals on nocart.org? I don't know why, but it gave the link to nocart.org, not to her personal website. So I don't know. It's fascinating. I'm like, well, okay, then I am going to have to figure out how I get on that list. Actually, that's my next question.
Exactly. That's the
Right.
kind of mindset that you need for this. It's no longer about having the answers, it's having the questions.
Mhm.
And speaking of questions, somebody was about to ask one.
Oh, I was just going to answer, excuse me. After our training last time,
Mm-hmm.
I am in the process of sort of developing a business idea. And I used ChatGPT to create a business plan.
Mm-hmm.
It told me where to look for funding. It told me, I mean, I'm sure it's not the gospel, but it gave me such great start. And because when you have all these ideas in your head of this, how to get this thing started, it's hard to know where to begin. And it sort of organized thoughts for me that I just was amazed. And I kept asking it questions, and eventually it said, "You're going to have to pay for a subscription now." And so I did, $20 a month. It's worth it.
Oh my God. I
It
guess
was
the next
great. It was
question is, how do I
really
get it for free, baby?
well, I don't mind the $20 a month because it really is a thought partner.
And I find it most useful in the beginning of projects. And yeah, and it's amazing for marketing and getting into the heads of people who might be interested, or keywords. And then I found a tool that will extract the names from a list that I've filtered on LinkedIn. So I looked for, let's say it was a state attorneys in the Bay Area, gave me, I don't know, 100 names. And then I said, export those names and their email addresses. And that was a different tool, but it was a free tool that I found. And then I used the letter that AI helped me generate to look at things from their perspective. It gets us out of our own heads. There's a lot of stuff people have already done, and this can extrapolate from several sources and find how they fit together really well, which is a lot of work. So anyway, great fun. Thank you for sharing, because you definitely, I have no special access to the wisdom here. It's for all of us. So I just wanted to quickly mention that chatbots can use different kinds of interactions. Text is one, but multimodal refers to the fact that you can use sometimes several different modes of interaction, that it can work together. And sorry you have to leave now, but
Yeah.
great to have you here. The recording will be sent out. and hope you get a lot out of it and go kick some stuff.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Peter. This is helpful, really helpful and amazing. Bye, everybody.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you can use voice with ChatGPT and some of the other uh, chatbots. You can use images. I'll give you an example in a moment. You can use video, and this is, by the way, for input and for output. So you can say, generate an image or look at this image and tell me something about it. Somebody's created a little chatbot for themselves where they take a picture of their refrigerator interior and it tells them what recipes they can make. Like, oh, that's fun. Also, it can summarize videos for you, it can generate videos, and it's contextually aware. So if it's watching your screen and you're answering quiz questions or something, it can say, well, you're on the right track, but try this. And it can be using other types of resources and tying them all together. So just quickly, a little fun experiment I did preparing for this. If I go to if I go to ChatGPT and I start a new conversation and I take this nice picture and put it in. Oh, I don't think it'll take pages. I think it wants a PDF or something. So here's a image version of that. So adding the image to ChatGPT, and I'll say, I want to ask you some questions about this image. Are there cars in the image? Cars are parked, cars are driving down the street. Is there a light pole? And giving me different answers because it wants to know how it can learn to better serve. And this is a little more detailed. I prefer this response. Okay, so this is something that doesn't do real well yet, but recreate this image with flying cars in it. So what we're doing is we're taking different kinds of information and we're having it use those as input, and we're also creating output, and you don't have to know anything about how to do it. It knows how to do it. You just tell it what you want. Well, those cars don't have wings, but and look, it's another picture of San Francisco. It recognized that it was San Francisco. So you don't need to work with images, I'm sure, but just to give you an idea of what multimodal is and how that's going to be something. Any questions, complaints? I have had I've had it generate articles. I had ChatGPT generate 3 articles, one for family law attorneys, one for communication coaches, one for financial neutrals, in terms of how you can use ChatGPT in your business. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those into the chat, and you can download them from the chat. So here's AI for attorneys. coming as a Word document. Oh, no. Apparently, I don't have the authorization because I'm not on my own Zoom system. If you want one of these articles, let me know. You can also just go in and say, how can a fill in the blank use chatbots in their business? And I specified collaborative law. And so it can analyze cases. It can help with finding common areas in mediation. It can take the transcripts of the conversations and see if people match up or where they differ. It can identify underlying interests, legal context, automating the mediation process. Not quite ready for that yet. Conflict de-escalation, dispute resolution, case research, alternative resolution options. So lots of different types of applications. And so we also have for attorneys. Here's one for communication coaches. I wish I could upload these easily. If I turn them into PDFs, I could, but I don't want to use up all of our time that way. I can stick around after the call and do that. Turn them into PDFs and upload them for you. That's for communication coaches. And this is for financial neutrals. So I really wanted to tie it into practical ways that you might consider using chatbots in your practices. But it can read documents, it can look at the logic, it can find other resources. It can, for financials, it can track changes in tax regulations, provide real-time updates. Of course, for lawyers, it can look up case law, all that kind of thing. So get those out to you one way or another.
Is it just you and me?
Vi is gone and Beth is gone. And darn it,
It looks like it's down to you and me. I just sent you an email asking you to send me the family law attorney article.
I will do that.
I'm like, if he can't post it here, I'm just gonna do the old fashioned thing. I'm gonna email him.
Perfect. Okay, well, you're going to get like the juiciest part of this whole presentation. And, you know, this is useful for me because I get to record it and everybody gets to see it later. So are you good for another?
Yeah, I don't have an appointment I have to run off to.
Okay, great. First of all, there is a marketplace for custom GPTs.
So I could create one and then sell it to other people kind of thing?
Yep. But this is part one where we're just looking at other people's GPTs.
Yeah, I doubt I would ever get to that point, but.
Well, after you watch this next demonstration, you might change your mind that it is something that it is within reach. So there's just a lot. These are kind of the highlighted ones in their marketplace.
And this is on ChatGPT at GPTs.
Exactly. So if I'm in ChatGPT, I just go to Explore GPTs. This is for the Plus subscribers.
So I can't get to this unless I'm a Plus subscriber?
Yeah, right now that's the way it is.
Okay.
But you know there's going to be a lot of, this is like the app marketplace that started with Apple, but spread to Android and, you know, open to everybody. I mean, as a GPT creator, I want to get the maximum sales, for example. I found one that's just freaking awesome. So this GPT actually creates a website from a description. Somewhere it is. I know I do. Well, let me go back over here and go to GPT and explore GPTs. I'm going to say website builder. I saved the link, but you can use the search function. This is probably it. I want to start a chat with this custom GPT that somebody created. And yeah, please create a website for, and what is your industry, Jamie?
What is my what? I'm sorry.
Your industry?
Oh, I'm a family law mediator, collaborative attorney.
A collaborative practice attorney and mediator. I mean, you could put in your contact information and all those things, or you can add it later. So I'm just going to leave it at that. That's my command, and have it, we'll watch it create a website. The goal is to convey trust, professionalism, approachability. So this is what our target audience, individuals or families seeking alternative dispute resolution, including mediation, collaborative divorce, businesses. It's going to have a description of services, testimonials, which it might make up, I don't know. You could actually modify it wherever it's done something that you want it done differently, just by telling it, well, I don't want to use made up stories. I want to use these stories. Booking and contact form, resources, FAQ section. Here's the kind of the technical part of the layout. Okay, and here's what the code looks like to build a website.
Oh my gosh.
But well, we're not done yet because it's actually going to walk us through till we have a website. I have a friend and I offered to create a website for him, which we could have had done in an hour. And he chose to do it himself. He's still working on it 4 months later. It's like, dude, just get something up there already. Okay, yes, it has SEO best practices. Oh, it stopped. Continue generating. Okay, keep going. It's using the finding keywords. Ensure all buttons are keyboard accessible. Contrast for
So I
readability.
can stop being a lawyer. I can become a website builder and just use this GPT thingy and charge people money to create their website.
You know people are doing this. All right. Would you like any assistance with any part of the process, like implementing form handling? No, just create. I don't know if this is the same one I used yesterday. We can find it, but it went and actually built the website. So this is hopefully the right one because it went all the way and delivered a product, which I can show you probably. No, I think I erased it. I didn't want it to remember what we'd done. I have the right link for the one that I used also, so I can send it to you, but it's just an example of the GPTs that people have built and how interesting and useful they are. And this seems to be slower. I want to show you how to build a GPT in 10 minutes. Okay, we'll let it continue to chew on that problem for a while. I guess I did not save that one that I created. That's okay. if you're a $20 a month subscriber to ChatGPT Plus, you go into Explore GPTs and then you say, okay, I want to create my own. And it prompts you all the way through. So I'll help you build a new GPT. So again, start from absolute scratch. You can say something like make a creative who helps generate visuals for new products, or make a software engineer who helps format my code. Jamie, what would you like to create today? Something that produces output that would be useful to you or your clients. It doesn't have to be the ultimate thing.
Isn't this awful? I can't think of anything. It's like, I'm sure there's a million things.
How about, I don't know, we'll make something up about something else. Um, ah, so create a GPT that is a resource for a small legal firm, or for a small legal firm that in finding new clients, grants, and unique income sources. I'm really stretching here. Marketing events, administrative support, etc. So that's an all-around right-hand person, I guess. How about legal firm assistant? Okay, that's a good name. You can change any of this later or amend it. I'll give you a draft in a moment. Whoops, regenerate. That's going to create a little logo. Oh, pretty cool. Looks like a tired-faced robot that's just legal scales. I'll say I'd like it to show people. How about happy people? And legal
Happy
scales.
people.
Yeah. Whatever. Change any of it later. You can open up the instruction area that we're in and keep tweaking it. Well, there you go.
There you go.
All right. That's good. How does it interact? Do you like certain things emphasized or avoided?
Oh, and so it's creating it over there on the right-hand side.
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
And it's already got some built-in prompts or whatever you call these things.
They are prompts. They're sample prompts, I guess.
Yeah.
Please provide citations in the responses. And respond in plain English. So I created one of these for a friend of mine who is a world famous relationship coach who trains other coaches. And it didn't get the pricing right. And I said, okay, what would you like it to do? And he said, well, I'd like it to use the information on this page on the website. And I said, okay. So it said, whenever you run into a question about pricing, answer based on the information on this one page only. And sure enough. How should it sound? Formal, conversational, conversational. Don't even have to type a sentence. And comforting. I don't know, that's really for clients, but so you can try it out. And here it is. Get rid of this Zoom menu bar here that's in the way. Good. So please create a marketing plan for Jamie. Escape. And where are you located, Jamie?
Burbank, California.
I grew up in Santa Monica, and we used to have I started a recording studio that was in Van Nuys, actually.
Not
Oh.
too far from here.
Not too far. Please create a marketing in Burbank. Whoops, pick it up. I don't have to capitalize it, but and I'll indicate that you are an attorney. But maybe it'll find your information and tweak the
I'm
plan.
the only attorney named Fosgate in the state of California.
Wow.
Well, that's licensed anyway. That's on the state bar. That's on the state bar website.
Okay. Here's your target audience, key messaging, online presence optimization. Make sure it's mobile friendly, optimized for SEO. Specific services, each get their own landing page. That's interesting. So it's okay. You can say we don't like Facebook and all that if we want. Here you go. Post legal tips, client success stories, behind the scenes office moments. I would not have thought of that. That's so cool.
Do we really want to show them how the sausage is made?
Oh, well, we're already seeing how laws are made, so.
Well, I often tell people, I don't make the laws. I'm just helping you interpret them. I'm telling you what they say. I don't make them. Don't shoot the messenger.
But we're already exposed to the nastiness behind the doors in Washington, so they're ready for anything now. So different webinars, partnerships, and referrals. I could say, give me a list of financial planners.
Go back up a second. It said something about local media. I was wondering what it said. Huh. The Burbank Leader. Trying to think if it still exists. It used to be a printed newspaper.
Hmm.
And then it got bought by the LA Times, one of their community newspapers. I know it's not printed anymore, but it might still have an online presence. Oh, here's a budget. Huh.
You know what? I don't like spending any money on advertising because it doesn't get me clients. It might in your case, but
I have not spent any money on advertising.
I like more like PR things. What are some PR strategies could use? Anyway, we're just generating ideas, and
Yeah.
you could say, well, who are the financial planners who work with divorcing couples in the Burbank area? Well, actually, a lot of us would, who have a specialty.
Engage in influencer marketing.
Yeah, tell me more. How do I influence the influencers? Good Lord, a lot of PR ideas.
Yeah.
You
Oh
could
my
say,
gosh.
yeah, I love public speaking, but I don't like writing or whatever. I have a specialty in divorce in the Burbank area. Actually, let me ask, give me the names of 10. So you don't want to leave it too open-ended.
Don't even know if there's 10.
See what it does.
Well, here it comes.
Yeah. Just click on the old links.
Oh, I know Lori Itkin.
Oh, wow.
I know Jason Crowley.
Oh, we all know Jason, don't we? Wait a minute. He's not, is he down there in your area?
No, Lori's in San Diego as well.
Okay, so it
So who
reached,
knows what mile radius they're looking at.
well, everybody's by Zoom these days.
Yeah.
And we could say, hey, we only want local ones. Anyway, you get the idea. We've just created a GPT, which I'm going to say, go ahead and publish it. And I'm going to say, add it to the GPT store. I mean, you could. And then if people buy it, you make money. That's crazy. But I'm going to say anyone with the link.
There you go.
And you have created your own GPT.
Well, you created it. I just watched.
Reminds me of being there. I like to watch.
Mm.
This is the link, which I can put into the chat here. And you could use a link shortener. Whoops, not just and, silly. Okay. Now I want to go straight to it, and there it is. Actually, that's a pretty cool logo, even in a small size. It looks like a whole crowd of people.
Happy people.
Well, yeah, you look real close. You can see they're smiling. No, you can't.
Had to be happy people.
So you can go back and edit it. It keeps my GPTs that I've created in the sidebar, so I can go back to ones I have created before. So that's creating a GPT, which is really,
Yeah, you got a lot going on there.
that's advanced. Okay. And AI is sneaking into other programs like PowerPoint. where you just say, hey, I want a presentation on X, and it just creates the whole damn thing. And that's just staying right inside of the application. This is creeping into lots of different.
So this is through PowerPoint or through ChatGPT?
This is just straight in PowerPoint. That's my,
Okay, because I have PowerPoint.
well, Microsoft would like another $20 a month from you to give you Copilot.
Oh,
becomes a button
I've
inside.
got some Copilot widget thing here, but I don't use it.
Well, so I just went into Copilot and I'll say, create a presentation about pets and mental health.
I'm going to open my PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm. Good idea. Take a look at what you've got.
I don't use it very often.
Yeah, I don't either, actually, even though I'm using it today. But this can give you a head start. So here's what it created.
Oh, wow. The benefits of pet therapy.
Look, the graphics are fantastic.
Yeah, I don't have the same home page that you have.
Oh, really? So what I have,
Are you using Windows 11?
I'm not using Windows. I'm on a Mac.
Oh, you're on a Mac.
Yeah. And we're the ugly stepchild, so these are the two new buttons, Designer and Copilot.
Yeah.
I get, you might have to pay for the Copilot thing but
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have this, that little bar down below where you have all your little shortcuts. I have a Copilot shortcut, but I've never done anything with it.
Huh.
Okay, so I just opened up another PowerPoint that somebody else created, and I have a link that says designer. Yeah, I have a link that says designer that you have.
When you go into Designer and you go to a particular slide, it shows you different suggestions for that
Yeah.
text and image, which is kind of cool.
All right, well, I guess maybe I have to look more into this Copilot thing and what if I want to do anything with it.
So again, starting with AI, how can a Windows user determine if they have Copilot in PowerPoint? Make sure you've got the latest version. Check the ribbon for the Copilot icon and look for AI features. Generally available, Microsoft 365 users.
I am a Microsoft 365 licensee.
Huh. And
And I've got the little button here and it says, okay, let's set you up.
oh, okay. So you just have to activate it.
Yeah, I think I just have to activate it.
Cool.
And I haven't updated to Windows 11 yet, so.
Well, my point here is that all the programs and websites and everything that we use are going to start to incorporate AI
So what's
because
the likelihood I create this PowerPoint and somebody else puts in the same prompt and they get the same PowerPoint? We're now using the same PowerPoint because we both
Well, also, this is a good place for me to say you have to be very careful when you create an article or anything with AI, because Google, when it's searching the web and ranking websites, if it finds AI generated content, it'll push you down the list instead of raising you up. So what you want to do is
Create this PowerPoint but then make sure I go in and make a bunch of changes.
that's one way. Another way is there are tools out there, other AI, that humanize and disguise the fact that it was created by AI by making changes for you. And they can even learn your style of writing and put it into that style. I have not heard about one that people really like, but one of them is Humbot. So just be aware that the straight out of the box output is not great for search engines. But there's
So on the one hand, Google wants us to do all this AI stuff. On the other hand, they might punish us for using it.
well, that'd be different parts of Google, but that's a very incisive observation. I want to get my pet and go on a vacation. So just knowing that it's lurking in your software. I'm also doing something with Otter AI right now. I'm recording this call. So if I go into Otter and I look at this meeting, it's creating a transcript in real time. There we go.
Oh, and that's what you just
Now
said.
you
And there it is. Oh, and now it's
But
typing what I'm saying. This is scary.
the whole thing is in there and with screenshots. But what's really fun is you can go over to the AI chat. I'm going to give you a link to this conversation, if you will. And you can say, what are the action items from this call? I don't think there were any. But in a staff meeting or something, there might be some. Oh, okay. Suggested actions, I guess. So you can actually have a conversation with your transcript. Because it is AI enabled. You can also just find an outline, and you can find a summary, which maybe it still needs to create after it's done. But you'll have a link to this, and it sees every Zoom call I have on my calendar and automatically dials in and says, hey, I'm Peter's transcript software. Let me in.
So so what's the privacy and confidentiality with this?
Good question for a financial planner. Yeah, it's just the client's preference. We tell them we're recording. It actually shows up on their screen as well. And it's their choice. But if you're
I mean, is Otter AI taking the conversations and the discussion and learning from it and adding it to whatever else they're doing? Or is it confidential? This is for me and my clients and no one else is going to know about it.
Well, this is inside of Otter, and I don't know if they're using an external chatbot to create the AI features. But let's say we go into Perplexity. We have a question, we want an answer. It's kind of complex, but that's fine. Are there any reasons to be concerned about privacy when using Otter.ai's AI chat features. I am an attorney who would like to use the tool in client conversations. Yeah, you really have to be careful. So I'm trying to give it enough to know what it knows what my concerns are. Several concerns to be aware of. It collects and stores audio and transcripts processed through its service. There's the citation that goes to a Reddit conversation. They may share data with third parties in certain circumstances. There's the privacy link to Otter. Consent issues. It does not require or request consent from all parties being recorded. There are questions about whether conversations processed by Otter may be used to train their AI models. This potentially could expose sensitive client information, even if indirectly. So here's your answer. You know, I don't have to be the expert. I just have to know and ask the question. You should obtain explicit client consent, review their latest privacy policy, which you can summarize large documents with any of these chatbots. Encrypted alternatives. It says privacy risks likely outweigh the benefits. So you don't have to guess, you know, anymore. It finds the right sources for the information, makes sense of it, and comes back and gives it to you in a format that you've asked for. So and then it gives you Perplexity, gives you related questions. How do they ensure the security of their sensitive information? What does it collect? Legal protections, law enforcement inquiries. So this is pretty down in the dirt, which is a good place.
Yeah.
So you have just had like a real advanced course covering so much. Pretty deep.
Q&A.
Q&A.
We did a lot of Q&A there.
We had an interactive human conversation here, which is great. Yeah, so thanks for being here. We'll post
No, thank you for putting all this together.
well, obviously it's fun. It's so may we all have jobs that are fun. Last week I worked with Nancy Ross and an ultra high net worth family that was on the verge of falling apart. They really were they were to the point where they didn't want to talk to each other in some cases. There were about 12 key people in the family and maybe 50 total in 4 generations. And by the end of the first day, these people were crying tears of joy. They were delighted to reconnect with people they thought they'd lost connection with. I mean, their whole future has been changed because they had an estate dispute and loans that were made from the family trust, 2008, 2009, the stuff's been festering. I mean, if you can do work like that, it's not work, right? It's awesome. So thank you so
It's
much.
awesome when it works and they listen and they can get past the conflict.
They
It's
had
frustrating when they just keep being stuck.
they had the tools. I mean, they jumped on it. They were able to listen and they were able to change their worldview in real time. It was amazing. And they're all terrific people. They'd work their asses off to contribute to the family and the larger community and hadn't received recognition for it. And other people thought, well, they didn't do anything, but found out the truth and the love was there again. It was great. All right. Well, we got off track a little bit there, but that's
Well,
okay.
thank you so much. You gave me a lot of good information by
Good.
doing some prompts that were more directed to things I was asking about. And now I just got to find time to explore more.
It'll save you so much time. It'll
I need a clone. I need a clone that can be over here and do this stuff while I stay over here and do this stuff.
one of the things you can do is you can put all of your content into a folder and say, ChatGPT, here's the knowledge base. Don't go anywhere else for answers. But this is how you get to know me and be my personal assistant.
Interesting.
So I, I from week to week, there's new vistas opening up, like creating that podcast from nothing. So I don't know where it's going, but it's going to be a different world for sure. So thank you again. Been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. And presumably you will having another advanced training one of these days.
Yeah, it could just be open forum. Ask the questions.
Yeah,
But,
that's an idea.
mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you, Peter.
Okay, we'll see you
Have a good
later.
day. Okay. Bye-bye.